possibly the go-ahead run. Here's the play, they're going to lob it to home, and it gets down, and he's out at home. He comes to third, play it third, and sight. Pitch, and this is hit hard. This is going to left field. This one is back, and it's out of here.
Welcome here to Bennett Field, round 3 of the Super League season. The Sweet Amber Beer and Pizza Clippers versus the Carp. Fraser Fife here with Rob Ushy, and Rob, both these teams searching for their first win of the Super League season. We'll see one of these teams come out with a victory tonight. Which one it'll be, it will be very, very interesting.
Yeah, we had the battle of the 2-0 teams earlier tonight. Now we have the battle of the 0-2 teams. Both teams looking to get ahead, and Tyler Chappell, the starting pitcher for the Clippers, getting ready to go here with the first pitch of the game.
Yeah, Ryan Duncan will be leading it off for the Carp, and we'll use this opportunity to run through their lineup. So Duncan will start at the top of the lineup. Blake Farr will be at 2. As that is a very nice pitch there from Tyler Chappell. Curtis Mead behind him at 3, Angus Rozier at 4, Wilson Lee at 5, Jay Sanderson at 6, Mason Clavel at 7. And on the 0-2, nice breaking pitch there, but nice job by Duncan just to lay off. Mason Clavel at 7, Ryan Broom at 8, and also we do have a change in the lineup also, Rob.
Yeah, it looks like Nick George. There's a line drive from Duncan right at the shortstop for the first out of the inning. Looks like Nick George will be starting instead of Lockie Burrows at second base, hitting in the 9-hole for the Carp tonight.
Well, just some little defensive swaps to start the game, but Chappell getting it started off right with the first out. So with that, it will now bring up Blake Farr, who has been having himself a nice little Super League championship so far. Been doing a pretty solid job for the Carp, but really for this Carp team, they've been hard luck losers the past couple of weeks. Just have not been able to find that final step in taking the win. We'll see what they're able to do against this Clippers pitching staff.
Last week, they fell just a little bit short, loaded the bases a number of times, I think 3 innings in a row, and just couldn't bang one home. So they'll be looking to get that big hit when they have guys on base. High fastball, far fall straight back.
So for the Clippers defensively, left to right, Griffin Weber will be in left field, Phil Acosta in center, and Dylan Ridding will be in right field. As the 1-1 pitch, it's going to be a nice fastball there. Not a whole lot on it, but does locate it well. Third to first will give you after this 1-2 pitch. Ooh, and Chappell just a bit inside.
Moved some feet there, followed up a nice inside fastball with one even a little further inside. We'll be looking to go away here with something off speed after getting the young Farr to dance a little bit in the box.
So 2-2. Pitch is going to be down in the dirt, so full count. Dalton Probert will be at third base, Dylan Brammer at short, Sam McGarry will be at second, Terrell Joyce at first, and Alex Carter behind the dish. The first payoff pitch of the night, and the Clippers are going to come out on top as Farr goes down with the strikeout.
Yeah, Chappell picking up where he left off last week. His third week here with the Super League, his first week, hit a couple innings. Got a little bit of trouble the first week, gave up a couple of runs. Last week, I think he was in and out of his 2 innings and about 15 pitches only. He filled the zone up and got a lot of pop-ups and ground balls.
Now, Curtis Mead stepping in. The first pitch will be in for a strike, 0-1 count.
Looks like Chappell's looking to stay away outside with a fastball there. Young Mead right back from the Phillies organization. Chappell gets ahead with good slider there down in the dirt, goes 0-2.
Yeah, for Curtis Mead, ended up hitting over 400 in his appearances for the Adelaide Bite. And that led to the contract with the Phillies, where he has been honing his craft and now comes in as a marquee player. So just shows the progress that he's been making, and right now 0-2 count. I'm going to have to try and protect the zone here. Nice little job by Chapel there, just to keep ranging outside, and even better job by me just to make sure that he wasn't going to bite at it.
Good 0-2 pitch from Chapel there. 0-2, you never want to give up a hit 0-2. You want to miss up high, unhittable, or down dirt low, unhittable. Comes back inside with a fastball. Misses low, even the count at 2.
Yeah, we've got the speed gun working tonight as well. So Chapel currently with the fastball, ranging about mid-80s. As there's going to be a ground ball to short. Brammer with the throw. It's not going to be in time as Mead just has a bit too much wheels down the first base line, but a nice attempt there to try and make it a 1-2-3 inning.
Good pitch by Chapel. Found himself low and inside on Mead. Got a ground ball right into the 5.5 hole. And Dylan Brammer with an excellent play going to his backhand and good throw across the diamond. Just not in time, like you say, to beat the speedy Curtis Mead.
Well, now Mead on first, and it's going to bring up Angus Rozier, who will be the first baseman tonight for the Carp.
Oh, fans of Bite, we've talked about the hair that he has. It looks like the beard is gone this time. So maybe by the time the Bite start their season, he'll be back to that that look that the fans love.
Well, he's got a little bit of time yet. As Chapel gets in for the strike. 72 on the gun. Right, for these two teams, as we mentioned, chasing their first victory of the Super League season. 0-1, and nice pitch there. Just going to miss the zone though, so evens it up at the 1-1 count. But for the Carp, lost the Crushers back in round 1, and then ultimately falling to the Wasps 3-2. When the Wasps came from behind to take that game, so they've been slowly improving as the season's progressed, but as I said, just struggling to find that final step as Mead is off. Throw is going to be taking one bounce, and Mead is just too quick towards second base, so he will get the stolen bases. Carter's throw not quite strong enough.
Good jump there by Curtis Mead off the pitcher. Able to get himself 3 full steps before he even released it. Carter didn't have much of a chance, but threw a little one hopper trying to use the grasses, get a little skip on it to get there a little quicker.
Well, now for Rozier, 1-2 count, 2-out runner at second. And I know Mead's not afraid to take the extra base, but Rozier's just going to have to make contact here and hope that he hits it strong enough and far enough away from that infield.
Carper struggled this year so far for getting 2-out hits with runners in scoring position. So here's another opportunity for them to cash in on that with Angus Rozier, one of their marquee hitters.
I'm going to be flared out past second field, ranging into right. Ridding is going to pick it up. Mead's going to get the call from third and just slide in quite casually. Rozier's going to end up at second, and the Carp got their first run on the board here in the top of the first.
Great job by there, Angus Rozier. Takes an outside pitch to right field, RBI single, and then advances to second on the throw home. Good throw by Dylan Ridding. Mead just has a little bit too much speed for him to get there and beat it. Makes it 1-0.
Well, an important job right there from Angus Rozier, and that's why you put him in that cleanup spot to drive runs in. And now, with 2 outs in the inning, they're looking to try and continue it on against Chapel. Wilson Lee, someone who is not afraid to be aggressive early in the count, especially here in the Super League. So we'll see what he's willing to do. That is going to be a nice breaking pitch in the zone for a strike.
Struggled a little early the first 2 weeks in the Super League, but it doesn't relate back to his SABL games, as Wilson Lee is one of the higher hitting average-wise and has 2 home runs already on the season.
0-1, Rozier at second. There's the swing from Lee, but even better breaking ball from Chapel, just beats him here.
Yeah, nice tight slider, broke away from him right as it came in.
So 0-2, plenty of pitches for Chapel to work with. Again, he takes that quick look at Rozier, and then the pitch is going to be called strike 3, so that will retire the Carp. But they do get a run on the board, and thanks to Angus Rozier driving in Curtis Mead. So they will go into the bottom of the first with a 1-0 lead. So positive steps for them, and they've taken another one here tonight.
Great start for the Carp tonight. Get on the board at first. Now you need to back it up with a 0 on the board, and sets themselves hopefully on their way for their first victory of the season.
Well, Chapel got 2 strikeouts in that inning, so he'll be quite happy. Just couldn't quite keep that run off the board. But as we head towards the bottom of the first, the Sweet Amber Beer and Pizza Clippers are coming up to bat, and we'll run through this lineup with Dylan Brammer leading it off, Dylan Riddick behind him, and Terrell Joyce in the 3-hole. Alex Carter is behind him at 4, Luke Rackerbrandt at 5, Sam McGarry at 6, Dalton Probert at 7, Griffin Weber at 8, and Phil Acosta will round it out on the Hilton for the Carp and Nate Vanderlinden.
Yeah, this will be pretty much the same lineup the Clippers put out that they've had the first 2 weeks. Couple small changes. Phil Acosta in center field batting in the 9-hole. Last week he had a pinch hit appearance, his first time back. He's just back from Poland where he was off playing baseball this summer, so now he gets back into the starting rotation as one of the veterans on this younger team.
And we're using the opportunity before the game to talk about the balance between veterans and youngsters and getting them game time. And for a lot of these kids, just getting the chance to watch a lot of these veterans play here in this Super League. I mean, obviously it's a new competition, it is exciting, but you definitely say more of a relaxed atmosphere here, especially on a Wednesday night. All these guys are competitive, but everyone's out there having fun, and it's good to see a lot of these veterans come out and just show the young ones how it's done.
Yeah, we do see the competitive environment from them, but we are also in the 3rd week. We're about a third of the way into the season, so you're going to see as this game goes on, somebody's going to be 0-3 after this game, and then it's going to make the playoff chase a little bit harder. As for the Super League, there are 4 teams, and the way the playoffs work is the team that finishes first gets a bye to the grand final. Here's the first pitch from Vanderlinden on the evening, on the outside corner for strike 1. The 2nd and 3rd will play each other off in a 1-game series for the chance to play, and the team that finishes at the bottom 4 unfortunately does not get to make the playoffs. The curveball just a little high though, 1-1 evens the count.
Well, it just shows, I mean, every game is going to count. You're able to write off some early losses, but you do have to start turning things around at some point. And for one of these teams, as you said, they will fall to 0-3, although we do have the draw, which we also haven't seen yet.
Yeah, it's very rare in baseball, so it is a possibility. We did see, because the Super League, we do have the time factors.
Well, ground ball towards short, going to be picked up by Mead. Casual throw over to Rozier for the first out. So 6-3 ground out. We'll get it started. A nice solid start for Nathan Vanderlinden. Similar to Tyler Chappell, around the mid-80s with that fastball and then variations on the off-speed and breaking stuff. But some similar looks here, as it will be Dylan Riddick stepping in for the Clippers.
Yeah, Adelaide Bite fans will remember Vanderlinden from the bullpen. He's been a staple they've had the last couple of years. He gets ahead with another fastball. His bread and butter pitch, which his main pitch is his changeup. He has a very good changeup. Like you said, mid-80s for fastball, low 80s, and then his changeup's the one that kind of dies. There's the changeup right there, 71. You got about a 10-mile-an-hour difference. That one was a little bit up, but that usually disappears down into the ground for him.
So 0-2 here for Dylan Riddick. Vanderlinden, a couple of pitches to work with, and he decides to go high. This one flared out towards right. Wilson Lee going to grab this one for the second out. So Riddick hit it hard, but right at the right fielder. So 2 out for the Clippers, as that will now bring up Terrell Joyce.
Another changeup up that Vanderlinden would have wanted a little bit lower, but enough to get the job done. Riddick hit the ball hard, and great running catch in right field by Wilson Lee there.
So setting up the Carp defensively, Blake Farr is in left field, Ryan Duncan in center, and Wilson Lee in right making that catch. Infield will come after this pitch. It's Vanderlinden. Nice job down low, keeping it low. Jay Sanderson will be at third base. Curtis Mead, as you saw with the first out of the inning, at short. Nicholas George at second, Ryan Broom at first, and Mason Clavel behind the plate. There you go, that mid-80s fastball just proving to be enough here so far early in this game. He puts it up at a 1-1 count.
A couple pitches just outside the zone. They're trying to be a little bit careful with Terrell Joyce, the man of 29 home runs this past summer in the Czech Republic. He's got lots of power. Definitely looking to stay out of his happy zone, as we'll say.
So a lot of that zone would be considered a happy zone for Terrell Joyce. He's currently working with the 2-1 count, trailing the Carp 1-0, as you can see on your screen. Just a bit of a mislocation there from Vanderlinden. Going to work into the 3-1 count, so Joyce in a good hitters count here, but bases cleared, 2 out. I mean, probably the best you can hope for, at least early on in this game.
Looks like they're picking their poison here. They're staying away from Joyce's power, but you do have AC Carter on deck. And AC Carter 2 years ago won the home run competition in France with 62 home runs. So you definitely got to be careful with one or both.
And you got to respect the power, and in this case, Van der Linden will as he works the walk to Terrell Joyce. First walk surrendered by him early on in this ball game, and the Clippers do have a base runner on a first. At least for Van der Linden there, as you mentioned, just respecting the power, working a bit outside, and then that last pitch missing up. I mean, not that you necessarily want to miss up to a power hitter, but it wasn't a whole lot you'd be able to do with something like that.
Yeah, you don't want to miss up with a pitch that he can handle. Those pitches were pretty much high enough that they weren't really competitive. Easy for Terrell Joyce to just lay off and not even offer.
So now, as you mentioned, AC Carter working with that runner on, and nice off speed there by Van der Linden. Again, just missing inside, so at least right now just trying to nibble on the corners and not quite getting the calls.
Yeah, just missing just a little bit in. Outside he's missing a little bit more, but he's gonna have to start going after some batters here.
Well, he's gone after him. This one's going to be popped up toward deep, short, shallow centre, and it is ultimately going to be taken by Duncan in centre to retire the side. So both teams get base runners on, but the Carp able to get a run across the board as they will head into the top of the second with a 1-0 lead. You are watching the Super League. We'll be back after the break.
Oh, boys, go!
Specialized knowledge, ability to deliver, and professionalism are keys to our successful relationship. A friendly and experienced team.
She got two little horns and they give me a little bit.
Welcome back to the ballpark. Top of the second here as Jay Sanderson will be stepping in to lead it off for the Carp. Sanderson, Mason Clavel, and then Ryan Broom will be the next hitters to face Tyler Chappell, who will start his second inning. First pitch will be catching the zone for a strike, and Sanderson infielder for East Torrens. Ended up hitting .330 for him. Just takes that one for another strike. 0-2 count. Had a on-base percentage of .430 in that 2017-18 season. So someone who is definitely adept to getting on base as he goes for the swing through on that one, as that will be the first out, and Chappell with his third strikeout here early on.
Nice little sequence by Tyler Chappell to fastball in, changeup in, and then that slider away to get Sanderson for the first out. Tyler Chappell in for his second inning of work, and in the Super League here, there are a few different rules. If you're new to it and haven't been around the first couple of weeks, pitchers are allowed 2 innings, 6 outs, or 40 pitches, whichever comes first. There's a ball low from Chappell, and then they're going to have to turn it over. Once a pitcher has pitched, he is out of the game. So this will be Chappell working his second inning and hopefully having a clean one. Fastball just got the bottom of the zone, even the count 1-1 for him.
From Mason Clavel, currently working with that even count. This is going to go down 1-2. A marquee from Glenelg, as you're probably aware, for anyone who follows baseball here in South Australia, one of the brighter young talents in this sport. See what he's able to do with a 2-strike count. Chappell is going to get the better of him here. Second straight strikeout third if you go back to last inning, as he now has 4 strikeouts here to start early on. And so far, he's been able to get to 2 strikes effectively and find that put-away pitch as well.
He's feeling it with that slider day. He seems to be getting ahead with his changeup and his fastball. Like you mentioned, 4 strikeouts, and then all 4 of them, it's on that sweeping slider away from the right-handers. There's another fastball. He gets on the outside corner and get ahead 0-1.
So Ryan Broom stepping in. Chappell unlucky to get that. 1-1 count. Again, bases clear for the Carp here, so they do hold that lead, but they want to try and consistently move the chains and just see what they can do against this Clippers pitching staff. As you mentioned with Chappell, he has given up that run, but that strikeout pitch working for him. If he gets to 2 strikes with a pitch like that, very, very close on the outside half.
Went for the outside corner there, just missed it. Also was trying to get him maybe to extend his zone a little bit and chase. And look for the slider there, down in the dirt for the 3rd strike of the inning. That'll be Chappell's 2nd inning. 5 strikeouts today, like you mentioned, gave up the 1 run, but certainly a great performance for Tyler Chappell.
4 consecutive Ks. He struck out Wilson Lee, Jay Sanderson, Mason Clavel, and Ryan Broom. 4 consecutive as he gets high fives from his team, and that just shows you when you've got your breaking stuff working, and you've got the off speed and the fastball working just to get yourself to 2 strikes. If you've got a really good breaking pitch, it's going to be tough to hit.
A ton of confidence today. He's definitely feeling it, and the Carp will be happy to see the Super League rules of 6 outs, because that'll be Chappell's end of the night. We'll be having a Wojtek call to the bullpen next inning for the Sweet Amber Ale Clippers, excuse me, and it couldn't be too early for them.
Most definitely. So for Tyler Chappell, ended up going the 2 innings, gave up 1 hit, 1 run, no walks, 5 strikeouts. So he has set himself up very nicely to start this game off right. And now they've just got to get it going with the bats here, as the Carp going to have to get out into the field pretty quickly. Not a lot of time for them to reset.
Yeah, Tyler Chappell had himself a nice couple innings there, and we talked in the first game. If you didn't join us, we were talking with Chris Adamson, manager of the Adelaide Bite, and one of the things that him and I were discussing were the advantages of some of these players that are looking for spots either on the bench or in the bullpen. Tyler Chappell and Nate van der Linden, both starting pitchers tonight, have been in the Bite bullpen the last couple of years, and they'll be looking for another opportunity this year. So they're trying to put on a little bit of show for the coach here tonight.
Well, Luke Ruckerbrandt will be stepping in for the Clippers. As that first pitch by van der Linden will miss the zone just high outside. 1-0 count. Right for Ruckerbrandt, first baseman from Port Adelaide. We've seen some of the damage that he can do at this ballpark when we had the christening season for the Bite. And of course, with the South Australian Baseball League season, they got a bit of an early preview, having some games out here. And of course, the grand final we had here also. Ruckerbrandt hit a couple of moonshots to right field. So we'll see if he can get something started here for the Clippers.
Definitely was a spectator for that grand final 2 years ago between Port Adelaide and West Torrens, and Luke Ruckerbrandt was almost a one-man wrecking machine in that series, hitting a couple, like you said, moonshots to right field.
And the wind not playing a huge factor tonight either. It's relatively still, so I think this ballpark will play pretty fair tonight.
It's a beautiful night down here at West Beach. Sun was out earlier. Now we're playing under the lights, but like there's a good changeup that I mentioned earlier. Van der Linden have just on the outside corner. Catch him looking for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, first strikeout for Nathan van der Linden. Ruckerbrandt will have to go put the lumber back down. And as the designated hitter, doesn't have to get ready to put the glove on, but fortunately him couldn't get it started, so now it will fall to Sam McGarry with the bases clear, 1 out.
Sam's had a good start to the Super League there. He gets a hold of one, but he's just going to pull that one foul. He's had a good start to the Super League. Hits in the first couple weeks for his Clippers, and one of the offensive starts for a team that struggled a little bit scoring runs on their way to their 0-2 start.
McGarry just been, as you mentioned, some timely hits so far for this team, and right now currently working with an 0-2 count. Still got those bases clear. Van der Linden. Pitch is going to be in the zone, almost blocked by Rozier. The throw not going to be in time. Luckily enough, doesn't go too far out of the infield, so not going to get the extra base, but luck there for Sam McGarry as that one hit right on the screws, and Rozier just couldn't keep it in the glove.
Looks like the official scorers have given Angus Rozier an error on that. That's going to be a tough play to make. Line drive, he's diving to his left. Knocked it down and just not able to come up and make the throw to the pitcher covering. Sam McGarry got down the line pretty quick on that.
And now third baseman Dalton Probert. Let's see what he can do. Pick off attempt, and nice little move there. And McGarry not taking a huge lead off of first. As you can see on the screen, beautiful night, as we mentioned, here at the ballpark here at Bennett Field. Usually we're rugged up about 4 different layers, but it is quite nice. I know you're still wearing a jumper, Rob. You're not quite at that short sleeves level yet.
No, it was beautiful earlier with the sun, and then it kind of cooled down towards that end of the game. But it's gotten nice again out here. I may be taking this bike jumper off here in a minute.
So 0-1 count. Runner on first, 1 out from the stretch. Van der Linden. Nice pitch there, but again missing location. Going to even up at 1-1 count.
Looks like we have a change defensively, and I didn't notice it in the first inning, but it looks like that's Ryan Broom at first. We'll have to see if they just switched Broom and Rozier as a DH and first base before the game started, or if it's Angus has come out of the game and we've made an actual change here.
Well, it's the fun of Super League, finding out all this stuff at the end of the game. All the little storylines that come out, so.
Yeah, we had a last-minute change at second base there, which we found out as the team was coming out to take the field. So certainly a little easier once we see numbers and names next to players to catch them.
And that's part of it. Familiarity also. I mean, you've come from, of course, the South Australian League, and you know, I've come from a majority of ABL seasons. So Super League's different for both of us. And
yeah, it's exciting. We get to see teammates versus teammates, brothers versus brothers. So a few matchups. Inside fastball that just popped up to third base, and just kind of camp under for the easy F5 there under the lights tonight. But part of the excitement of the Super League is when we get everybody from all the teams kind of getting together. We've seen a few different players involved from other states. Tonight in the first game we had a young man, an American import. He's playing in Brisbane. Make his trip down here, pitched 2 innings as a tryout for the Bite today. It was very good. And we talked about him with Chris Adamson earlier. He definitely made a impression on the coaching staff of the Adelaide Bite.
Well, first pitch by Van der Linden again, just teasing around that zone, but not getting the call. So 1-0 count here for Griff Weber. Someone I had the pleasure of talking to during the Junior League Championship over the course of that 6-day event. Giving a bit of a rundown on his approach to catching and how he goes about his approach to hitting as well, because he's very accomplished in his short period of time.
It seems to be a nice problem to have here in Adelaide. So many young catchers coming up that Griff Weber is in left field tonight. As Van der Linden hits the outside corner with a fastball to go get ahead 1-2.
Yeah, Van der Linden here with 2 outs, 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning. And that quick look over to first. It's going to be fouled towards the Clippers bullpen, so at least 1 more pitch here to start it off. One, two, so we reset here. Van der Linden, as you mentioned, quality change-up. Has used it a couple of times so far over the course of this game, but we'll see what he breaks out here. 1-2, and again, tries with that off speed. Gonna miss and drift on the outside corner.
Slider just missed outside. Probably looking to come back inside with something here as he keeps going, as he keeps him alternating between in and out.
And he keeps alternating, and Weber so far just keeps fouling him off.
Yeah, quality at bat by the young man, Griffin Weber. battling a player that has multiple pitches, and it's accomplished with him tonight. He seems to favor the changeup, which is his #1 pitch, I believe.
So 2-2 count. Sam McGarry still at first. Doesn't have to do a whole lot of moving as he does go off there, and a swing and a miss by Weber as Vanderlinden gets his second strikeout of the inning, and that will retire the side. So Carp still holding a 1-0 lead as we head to the top of the third. Fraser Fife and Rob Ushy here for the Super League. We'll be back after the break.
You got 2 little horns and they give me a little bit.
Black Chrome is Super League Baseball Adelaide's official apparel provider and the most reliable baseball supplier in Australia. Visit Black Chrome online and experience the exceptional quality, service and reliability for yourself. blackchrome.com.au. Clippers versus the Carp here as we are in the top of the third inning. As we do have a pitching change, of course, with Tyler Chappell doing a great job getting those 6 outs. So now we'll have to see if the Carp can maybe try and get a little bit more success against the relief pitchers coming in for the Clippers.
Carp will be very happy to see Tyler Chappell out of the game. 5 strikeouts over 2 innings. He did give up a couple hits, one with 2 out, which cashed in a run. But he was pretty dominant on the mound today. Looks like we have the Wojtek call to the bullpen, and it's going to be Tim Day of the Glenelg Tigers, locally of the SABL. Last year in the SABL, 6-2 with a 3.41, 71 innings, 67 strikeouts, almost a strikeout per inning. Features a real good curveball with his quality fastball.
Yeah, Tim Day, quality pitcher for the Clippers, as he'll be facing really the 9-1-2 hitters of this Carp lineup. Nick George, Ryan Duncan and Blake Farr. As we mentioned with Nick George, a late substitution into this game and hasn't really had to do much defensively at second base. We'll see if he can get something going here with the bat to start the top of the third. Day's first pitch in for a strike.
Yeah, young man from the Northern Districts Baseball Club. Getting his first opportunity in the SABL. Didn't get an opportunity in the first 2 weeks. Here he gets a start. And slider just outside. Hit 143 last year and 56 at bats in Division 1. But he did have 17 stolen bases. So definitely a young man with some speed.
Well, he's going to pop this one up towards left field. Weber, as we mentioned, starting in left field. And usually a catcher by trade, but he'll take it quite comfortably for the first out.
Yeah, high pop up there. Easy for the catcher turn outfielder to get under it.
Well, now lineup is going to turn back over. So Ryan Duncan, who lined out to shortstop in his first at bat. Behind him, Blake Farr with the strikeout. So now as they're facing Tim Day and get a little bit of a different look. Chappell, a bit more of a sidearm pitcher. Day definitely more traditional.
That's with a fastball up. Looking to get ahead of the Queenslander, Ryan Duncan.
Oh, that one's going to be fouled over the left field side of the Shark Tank, or the second Shark Tank, the Turf Tank as we knew it over the course of last ABL season. This evens it up 1-1 count. Bit of a check swing there by Duncan, but called the strike anyway. Day doing a good job in the inside part of the plate.
There's that good curveball that Tim Day possesses. He can throw it on either side of the plate. Right there, he went after the front. Maybe looking to backdoor something here with another curveball in the dirt. This time, Duncan holds on it. Even the count at 2-2.
Oh, game of adjustments, and Duncan just showing enough of an adjustment there to lay off. So now working with a 2-2 count. Day going to go for it, but going to be fouled, and doesn't go particularly far, doesn't really even go beyond the catcher.
Yeah, got in the kitchen, as they like to say, just under the hands with a fastball. Let's see if he follows it up with another one or he goes back to that good breaking ball.
And Carter gives the sign. It's going to be a ground ball towards second, and McGarry can't handle it. That means Duncan gets on at first, and we've seen situations like this before in the Super League, and this can lead to runs on the board, but the Carp have to be able to capitalise on gimmies like that.
McGarry really unhappy with himself on that there. He knew he probably should have charged it a little bit, sat back and waited, and it found probably another footstep in the dirt there, took a little hop on him, but it'll be an E4 on the second baseman and give the Carp their first base runner of the evening.
So Blake Farr currently working with now the runner on first, and first pitch is going to be nice fastball there, but misses the zone high, 1-0 count.
Another one of the young catchers in Adelaide. I mentioned it was nice to have. He's playing left field. Griffin Weber's playing left field. Yeah, Mason Clavel behind the plate for the Carp. Seems to be a position. Fastball just misses low. Seems to be a position that all the baseball clubs in Adelaide are turning out quality players at.
Well, especially with catchers, it's such a difficult position to be able to cultivate talent for. So to have that sort of depth pool to work with, they've an abundance of riches. I mean, you're looking at right now, as you mentioned, with the amount of quality behind the plate, but also you've got to have some versatility as well, because you can only have one catcher behind the plate. You've got to put them somewhere, especially if they've got a decent enough bat to work with.
Which, as we've seen, both of the young men we're currently talking about have that quality bat, so they need to play other positions as well, as they're blocked by a little more veteran players in the Super League here.
So far, 2-1 count, still the runner at first, and Ryan Duncan. And that one well outside, but Day now going to have to work with a 3-ball count.
We do have the 2-hour limit, which caught the Carp last week, unfortunately for them. So we'll see if they put a runner in motion here and try to get a little action on the base pass. 3-1 fastball, right down the middle, far takes it to even the count.
Well, payoff pitch, not quite at the 2 outs yet, so we'll have to see if Duncan is willing to be aggressive, or at least gets the green light to be aggressive. Double play would end the inning. And there's a hard hit ball that's going to flare and almost split the outfielders. Duncan's going to take the extra base at second. Farr's going to round second. Duncan's getting waved all the way around. He's coming home. He's lost the helmet, and he's going to get in standing up, as that one's going to fly over the head of the catcher. And that just means that Blake Farr going to take the extra base. Say thank you very much, as they take a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, big hit there by Blake Farr. Solid double in right center gap. And it goes to third on the error by Dylan Brammer on an ill-advised throw home. He didn't really have any chance at getting Ryan Duncan out, as he was running all the way from first base there, allowing the runner to take the base. And now we have a runner on third for the Carp with 1 out and a sac fly. Gives them a 3-0 lead if get the job done here by Curtis Mead.
And Curtis Mead hit a ball to the right side for a single and tries to go for it again. This one's going to hang up just a little bit and be taken out in right field for the second out. With that, Blake Farr just going to come home pretty casually as they get the sac fly and make it a 3-0 lead here in the top of the third. So doing some good, solid, fundamental baseball, and again, using the opportunity. McGarry with the misplay at second just allows that run to come home and for them to extend that lead.
Couple errors for the Sweet Amber Ale Clippers this inning have put them behind the 8 ball, now being 3-0 for the Carp. A little bit sloppy baseball, some baseball thrown around the park that shouldn't be, and right there Curtis Mead took advantage, did his job, hit a ball deep enough to right field to get himself an RBI with a sac fly.
Well, now Angus Rozier, who is going to be aggressive, and swings through that one, evens up the count, 1-1. So far for him, had another single to right. So 1-1 count, now make it 2-1 as he's laying off that pitch.
As we can see, we do have Angus Rozier still in the game, so it was just before a game of switch of first baseman. Ryan Broom took first base and Rozier the DH tonight instead of the other way. Foul ball right back at us here at the booth.
So 2-1 count, 2 out bases now clear after all the runners come home. So with Ryan Duncan scoring, Blake Farr also scoring. Just gives him that little bit of breathing room here early on in this ball game, but 2-2 count. Breaking pitch by Day, a nice one, but Rozier doesn't bite. Going to work it to the full count here.
Yeah, quality take there by Angus Rozier on a good pitch. That kind of disappeared right at the end into there. They were looking for him to swing through or just top something, a little ground ball. But he was able to, as we say, spit on it and just let it go by.
Well, it's going to be popped up in the infield, potentially playable on the left-hand side. Probert coming in and coming in pretty aggressively. Does get the final out. So that will retire the Carp, but not before they put 2 more runs on the board and extend it to a 3-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the third. But at least for right now, Carp seizing the opportunity, showing some good fundamental baseball. It's now going to be up to the Clippers as to whether they can get something started.
Yeah, they got to answer back here. The Carp did something that they haven't been able to do the first 2 weeks. Take advantage of mistakes and hit with runners in scoring position. Excuse me. See if they keep that going. As we do have another Wojtek call to the bullpen here after Nate van der Linden had his 2 innings of work. One of the rules of the Super League is that we do have to turn it over to, got the 6 outs that he could get and turn it over to the next man out of the pen.
Well, considering van der Linden didn't allow any hits in the game, so he ended up going 2 innings, giving up the 1 walk, 1 strikeout, or 2 strikeouts, so he did quite a nice job for the Carp to start it out. As we'll wait for official confirmation from the scorers in relation to any roster changes, because as you're all aware, Super League, good fun.
Yeah, as we get an opportunity to discuss some of the rules, we have discussed about the pitchers, but there is also the 2-hour limit, so time does play a factor possibly in the game, so there is a little bit of urgency for the players to get in and out and make changes fairly quickly. We do have speed up rules in place. If a catcher gets on base, there'll be a runner for him. So some of the things that are different about the Super League as opposed to the regular baseball that gives an opportunity to see a little quicker aspect of the game.
Almost at the 40-minute mark, at least according to our clocks. Of course, we go off our own. The umpires go off theirs, so maybe some differential. Just something to keep in mind as Phil Acosta stepping in, 9-1-2 due up for the Clippers. He will show bunt and pull it back in time, 1-0 count.
Fans around the SABL will know Phil Acosta from the Henley and Grange Rams. They know that he, this is one of his aspects of his game, is the bunt single. He does a very good job of it. Last week he did get his first opportunity and hit an RBI, 2 RBI single up the middle.
So Tom Norley, the Carp pitcher who has come in for Nathan van der Linden. We'll see what he's able to do against the bottom half, 9-1-2 of this Clippers lineup. So currently working with the 1-1 count. Nice breaking pitch, just going to roll foul down that third base line as Sanderson just going to occasionally throw it back.
Yeah, Tom Norley, young man out of Golden Grove. Last year he pretty much had his first real shot in the Div 1. His numbers are ones that he definitely wants to improve on, but he does have a good fastball and curveball. It's the walks that he needs to kind of cut down on to have a little more success. There's that good curveball, just misses the outside corner. Good take by Phil Acosta to make even the count at 2-2.
A very close pitch there, but very good discipline by Acosta. I see Norley going to have to come up with a pitch of similar quality here as the count even 2-2. Another breaking pitch. Acosta not biting on that one yet. We're going to work the full count here. Considering The only players who've been able to get on, Terrell Joyce, who got on via the walk, and then Sam McGarry, who reached on an error. So Clippers still searching for their first hit. And there's a high cheese. Acosta goes down swinging on the payoff pitch, and that's going to be the first strikeout for Norley.
Yeah, there's that good fastball that the young lefty possesses. Got it up in the zone, which is a spot that all hitters want to hit. Balls up is where you can drive the ball out of the ballpark. Something around the knees is a good spot for line drive singles and opposite field singles, but something up is something you can drive, something into the gaps.
Well, Dylan Brammer stepping in as the lineup is going to turn back over. 6-3 ground out in his last at bat. Going to be aggressive on that first pitch. Can't quite find the direction. I mean, Brammer, we saw him almost with that jump throw deep and that short, almost shading over to that first base side. He's definitely got a solid arm. Bat has been nice and solid here at the top of the Clippers lineup, but hasn't exactly shown the power just yet. He's going to foul that one off. So he's not quite happy with that swing, but does make contact at the very least.
We've seen Brammer at short primarily for all 3 games now for the Clippers. He's their leadoff hitter. He's one of their leaders as being a coach and star of the Southern District's Hawks. He's won back-to-back captain medals in the SABL, and he's a pure two-way player that can swing a bat. And when he pitches, he's got a great splitter that kind of disappears. But having to throw Sundays for his team makes it a little harder for him to come back and throw it again here today.
You know, as you mentioned, being a two-way player just makes it a little bit easier to continue your production on the team. And he does have a quality bat. I'm currently working with a 2-strike approach. Another breaking pitch that doesn't quite break for Norley. Now he ends it up at a 2-2 count, and going to be important here that you don't lose Dylan Brammer, but also, that being said, with the quality of his bat, you also just want to be careful about where you're placing this next pitch. And going to try outside, Brammer not biting. Going to work the full count yet again.
Yeah, another full count pitch coming up for Norley. Was able to put a high fastball by Phil Acosta. We'll see if he comes back with that again here against Dylan Brammer, the leadoff hitter for the Clippers.
Nice breaking pitch, but it's going to break too far inside, and Brammer works the walk here with 1 out, which is an important base runner here for the Clippers. They have not been able to get a hit yet, but they are getting some base runners on, and that's all they can ask for.
Just missed inside. Dangerous base runner with Dylan Brammer. Does have some speed. We'll see if they look to get him moving. With the heart of the order coming up, Dylan Redding had a line drive into right field that Wilson Lee was able to make a running catch on. Last at bat in the first inning. There goes Brammer.
Well,
nope.
So almost a strong throw there by Mason Clavel, but Brammer going to say thank you very much and take the extra base. So he ends up at third, and a potential here for the Clippers to get their first run across is now for Dylan Redding. It makes his job just a little bit easier. 0-1, 1 out.
Yeah, great stolen base there. He went off first movement by Tom Norley. Mason Clavel didn't really have any chance to throw him out. Unfortunately for him, he one-hopped the infielder, and he's also going to get charged for an error, allowing Brammer to go to third on that.
Oh, Norley has some potential. Liner towards left. It is going to drop out in front of far, so Brammer going to casually stroll home as he gets the Clippers' first run. Dylan Redding, first hit for the Clippers, and they cut it 3-1 here in the bottom of the third.
Looks like the Clippers are trying to jump back in after giving up a couple last inning and fall behind 3-0. They've now got RBI single there by Dylan Redding, and the heart of the order coming up of Terrell Joyce and A.C. Carter, both righties against the young lefty. This could be a big inning for the Clippers coming up.
Yeah, important opportunity for them. Joyce was able to work a walk the last time through. Chopper towards short. Mead's going to get there, step on second, so they at least get the lead runner, but no chance at the double play. But I'm pretty sure the Carp will say thank you very much and just take that one out.
That was close play second base, but good play by Curtis Mead. High chopper really didn't have much chance to get 2 on that. They made sure they got 1 and kept themselves in a double play situation now for the catcher, AC Carter.
Well, for AC Carter, flew out to centre field in his last at bat. And now 2 out for the Clippers here, so for Norley, potentially just 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning, keeping it still a 2-run lead for the Carp. But as he heads through the middle part of this lineup, and of course, second time through, so the Clippers able to make their adjustments. That one's going to get away from the catcher, Clavel. Just going to have to grab this one, and it just means that ultimately, extra base here, and Terrell Joyce ends up at second.
Yeah, curveball that, about a 56-footer there, that Mason Clavel didn't have much chance in the dirt, trying to block something that bounces off the dirt. That time shot between his legs for a wild pitch. Puts Terrell Joyce in scoring position on a single.
Well, we'll see what Carter can do. Well, he's going to hit this one out towards right, ranging at it is Lee, and he'll grab this one for the 3rd out. So an important 3rd out for the Carp as they still hold a 2-run lead as we're heading to the top of the 4th. Carp 3, Clippers 1. You're watching the Super League. We'll be back after this.
Got 2 little horns and they're giving me a little bit.
Welcome back to Bennett Field. Carp and the Clippers 3-1 ball game at the moment as things get interesting. A little bit of a chink in the Carp armour, and we'll see if they can try and keep this that 2-run lead or even extend it. Right here is in the middle of their lineup: Wilson Lee, Jay Sanderson, Mason Clavel, Fraser Fife and Rob Ushy here with the call. And so far an interesting ball game, which seems to be at least moving along at a decent pace.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a sloppy ball game. Both teams ill-advised throw, some poor fielding. There's 2 errors on the board for each team, which is basically taken the spot of the runs today. But it's good approaches from the hitters. They've taken advantage of the sloppy defense and which allowed the Carp to get ahead 3-1 right now. We'll see if that can continue, or if the pitchers get a little more control and go right at the batters.
Well, Day still on the mound for the Clippers. Wilson Lee, as we mentioned, it got that 3rd out in right field, now stepping up to lead it off. Chuck's going to miss that one as it's going to be pretty much jammed inside. 0-1 count.
Yeah, one of the better hitters of the SABL. Wilson Lee's been extremely aggressive all 3 weeks. Doesn't take many pitches, goes up there swinging, trying to get ahead.
We saw a similar sort of approach in the ABL season as well, when predominantly used as a pitcher, but occasionally got put in right field, and whenever he got the chance to hit, he was making sure he wasn't going to be waiting for any pitches. He came up swinging very aggressively in the first couple of pitches, so naturally where he gets a little bit more game time in the box, showing a little bit more patience here with a 2-1 count. They'll make it 3-1 as he's doing a good job showing discipline here against Day.
He's gotten himself into a hitter's count here. This past year he was in Germany where he hit 437. So he is definitely a pitcher that can swing the bat. There's a ball low, ball 4, and there's a leadoff walk.
Well, that would be the first walk surrendered by Tim Day. As now it will be Jay Sanderson, who did strike out in his first at bat. Ended up going down on 3 or 4 pitches.
Yeah, another batter was very aggressive in his first inning. Went down on 3 pitches when Tyler Chappell had everything working. Big swing there for Sanders, and he was looking to extend the lead with one swing.
Well, that's all it's going to take is one good swing here. As we mentioned towards the start of this broadcast, wind not playing a huge factor. 0-1. Nice breaking pitch. Going to catch the zone for a strike. And we know Day has some quality breaking pitches to work with. And when it's on song, it's definitely going to be tough to hit. So if he can keep that in the back pocket, just something that gives him a little bit more dimension here with an 0-2 count. And goes for another breaking pitch. This one going to be just a tad high.
A little bit high, but I think that's probably where you wanted that one. 0-2 pitch, you either want to put something high or you want to bury something. His curveball seems to be his best pitch. It's one that he kind of focuses, he pitches it off of the fastball more than the fastball off of it. And there's that fastball on the inside, caught Sanderson looking.
Well, second strikeout for Sanderson. As now with one out, it will bring up Mason Clavel.
Another one of the young catchers in Adelaide we were talking about. Mason's going to have a little more run probably with the bite this year. One of the young players that got a lot of playing time towards the end of last year. He can catch, he can play the outfield, third base, play multiple positions, and he can swing the bat with a little bit of power.
He had a bit of a rough inning with those couple of pitches down in the dirt, which just got past him, and of course the stolen base attempt by Brammer, which led to him getting the third. But an opportunity here to get something started with the bat as he's going to swing through that one. 0-1. Clavel again struck out his first at bat, but he does have a base runner on, which is important here. Oh, runner is going to be off and just going to foul that one off. So head back to first base.
Looks like the Carp are trying to get a little aggressive, put a hit and run on there. Another good front door curveball there by Tim Day, and Clavel did a good job fouling it off.
Well, 0-2 count, one out, Lee at first. Hit right up the middle. Brammer's not going to be able to get to it as it just rolls into center, so base runners will move up a shuttle apiece. And that is another hit for the Carp, as they have put together 4 so far in this game. 3 runs off it, and now with runners at first and second. As it looks like we do also have the pinch runner coming in. Of course, for a catcher, pinch runner can come in and just allows them a little bit more time to get on the gear. So important 2 base runners here for the Carp.
Yeah, one of the rules of the Super League, if again, if you're new to it, haven't joined us too much, it is a speed up rule that if a catcher gets on base, that there is a runner for him, so he can get in, get his equipment on, and speed it up, because we do have the 2-hour time limit in all Super League games.
So it will be Ryan Broom who will be the one coming up, the man on your screen. But meanwhile, we do have a meeting on the mound. Important here for Day, as we mentioned. Hasn't really been missing a whole lot with his pitches. Had some good location, but just those final put-away pitches is just allowing the Carp to get some solid wood on it. So nice little chat out in the middle, and heading towards the bottom of this lineup in Broom, Nick George, and then Ryan Duncan again, 8-9-1. It's really important that this game doesn't get away from the Clippers.
Little visit there from the Clippers coaches, just to get him back on track. He does have the 8 and 9 hitters coming up, which they're going to want him probably to go right at and attack. And he misses low, ball 1, falls behind 1-0. Little inside move, nobody's moving on the bases there.
So Lee at second. That one is going to be well outside. Nice job to block it by AC Carter. Again, important with this infield when you've got Terrell Joyce at first, McGarry at second, Brammer at short, and Probert. You need to hit one pretty hard through the infield just to potentially get Lee home. It's currently Broom working with a 2-1 count.
Broom was in full take mode. That was just a nice little get me over fastball to get himself back 2-1. There's another fastball, good one on the outside corner. That one had a little more velocity on it, 78 miles an hour. Tied at 2-2 count. Look, probably go back to that good curveball that he possesses here.
2-2. As you mentioned, he's featured that curveball a lot, and there it is, and he gets him to swing through. No, Broom heads back to the dugout as Day. It's one of those pitches, you know it's coming, but it's good enough that he can just switch that movement, switch that speed, and it doesn't matter what you can do, you just got to be able to try and make contact.
Dave's a veteran of the Glenelg Tigers and around SABL. Everybody knows that he does possess that, and like you say, you know it's coming, but it's a good enough curveball that you still have to try to hit it, and most of the time he's got the numbers that show that that batters don't.
You have to respect it. A bit of a chopper that is going to go foul, but at least for Day, when you've got that curveball, I mean, it's one thing to know that it's coming, it's another one to try and hit it. And so far, as you mentioned, been improving it stats-wise in the South Australian League.
Carp would be looking for a little two-out magic here with number 9 hitter, second baseman Nick George up. A little single. Wilson Lee will get a good jump off second base as the middle infield isn't really keeping him too honest out there.
Well, all it takes is just summing through the infield. Potentially, if Lee wanted to get aggressive, make it a 4-1 game. But again, 2-strike approach. Day got those pitches to work with. And here we go, breaking pitch. Nice break there, but nice job by Nick George just to lay off.
Yeah, good quality curveball outside, far enough that batter's either going to swing or take, but not do enough damage if he does swing and hit it anywhere.
So the 2 runners on, see if the Carp can try and extend their lead. 3-1. Another one's going to be fouled off by George, so doing a good job here with that 2-strike approach.
Yeah, he's battling. He's looking for a Day to make a mistake, something that he can handle. And until then, he's going to try to battle and foul balls off and get himself an RBI opportunity.
Another breaking pitch there. We knew it was coming, but didn't catch the bottom of the zone, so evens it up 2-2. At least for right now, some pressure on the Clippers. 2 runs down, but potential for the Carp to put on a bit more. Ground ball. There we go. Joyce just going to take this one casually over to first, as that will retire the Carp. So they get 2 base runners on, but they can't quite capitalize, and this will stay a 2-run game as we head to the bottom of the 4th.
Well, certainly another opportunity for the Carp to put runs on the board, and we've seen it time and again. All three games so far this season that they keep getting guys on and not being able to score runs.
So as we head to the bottom of the 4th, as you can see on your screen, both these teams 0-2 on the season, so one of these teams will get over the hump and get their first win of the season, but still plenty of baseball yet to play. We're almost at the hour mark, at least according to our clock, so an hour yet to go, that or 7 innings. Not sure what's going to come up first in this instance, but at least for right now, the pitching has been doing a solid job.
Yeah, and we do have another Wojtek call to the bullpen here. Looks like Ryan Duncan has come in from center field to take over on the mound. And once we get the change in the center fielder, we'll find out who's out there for it. It's a little bit of distance for me to see from here.
The eyesight isn't quite that good, so we will wait for the scorers to update us. But going to be interesting. Duncan has had a couple of appearances for the Carp and has done a good job in providing some innings of relief. So if he can maintain that lead, see what they can do. But easier said than done. Going through again the middle part of this lineup: Rackebrant, McGarry, Probert. Rackebrant striking out, McGarry reaching on an error, and then Probert with a pop fly to third base. At least for right now, is the umpire signalling the change, so we will find out soon enough. For both these teams, I mean, spoken about the Dunmark Crushers and the JSR Plumbing Wasps, and we saw them earlier today. Final score of that game, Crushers ended up winning 6-2 against the Wasps, but I mean, a lot of attention has gone towards them because they had come out with the hot start. But really, when we're looking at all of these teams throughout the start of this season, of course, after the draft, things started coming together, and you know, every team had a lot of strengths to it in relation to the marquee players, and ultimately, it wasn't like star power was going to play a huge factor. Everyone was fairly even in what they were able to do. It was always going to come down to how these players gelled together. And at least for right now, we're starting to see 3 weeks in a little bit more continuity between these teams as well.
Certainly a difference between the first week. Yeah, we saw the first week. It seemed there was a little trying to get to know each other, figure out who each other were. And the Crushers have shown so far they're starting 3-0 because they've played a lot of team baseball, as we've talked about a lot earlier in the game. In the first game was all 3 games they played, they've scored 7 runs or so, always 7 different players, different RBIs. It's been a top to the lineup, top and bottom lineup. There's a good curveball from Duncan to even the count 1-1.
As we mentioned with Rackebrant, 1-1 count and struck out in his last at-bat. Well, he's not going to strike out in his second. He's going to wear this one, though. Just taking it off the back of the shoulder. So base runner for the Clippers. Not exactly how Rackebrant would have wanted it, but he gets on nonetheless.
Not the optimal way that a hitter wants to get on base, but when you're down a couple runs, leadoff walks, leadoff hit by pitches sometimes come back to haunt a team. So we'll see if the Sweet Amber Ale Clippers can take advantage of it this inning and get back in and try to tie this up.
Well, now Sam McGarry with a lefty-lefty matchup. That first pitch is just going to miss inside, 1-0 count. At least for right now, looking through this lineup, and you're looking at consistent production. Really, it is the top part of their lineup in Brammer, Redding and Joyce. They've just been able to get on base at the very least. So if they can just get a little bit more consistent production out of the bottom half of this lineup and just, players getting on, whether it be hit by pitch, working that walk and getting the pitch count up, which is something that hasn't really been a huge issue here in the Super League because batters are just as aggressive as the pitchers in relation to the pitch count. But as adjustments are made throughout the course of this season, we'll just see how the game plan adjusts.
Curveball just inside. McGarry takes it for ball 2, 2-1. Yeah, the bottom of the order so far for the Clippers is trying to set the table for the top. The top is where the heavy lumber is. So far this game they haven't been able to do so, but they're looking second time through to do that, do their jobs and get themselves on base for them.
Generally, you can usually rely on getting 3 plate appearances and if not more in the course of a game. Of course, in Super League, you might only get 1 or 2 if your team is unlucky enough. So it's important to be able to make a difference when you can. And right now, McGarry doing a good job with a 3-1 count. Bit of a golf on that one. Is going to go foul. So another full count here. So we'll see which way this one goes.
Other aspect of the Super League is with the pitchers only getting 6 outs or 40 pitches. As a hitter, you're probably going to see 3 different pitchers in your 2 or 3 at bats, which can tend to be an advantage to the pitchers. Probably why we've seen hitters being a little more aggressive and going after those first fastballs that they see.
So full count with Rackebrant at first. Just going to miss that one and go foul. So we'll maintain still the full count here. So Duncan doing a good job just keeping McGarry from making solid contact. Now, it has been updated. Ben Keeping is in center field, so thank you very much, scorers.
And if you're keeping score at home, he'll slide into Ryan Duncan's leadoff spot. Another foul ball there. One of the aspects of the Super League is the pitchers when they can come out of the field, go warm up in the bullpen, and then go to the mound and come back in. But once they do that, they are out of the game.
So full count with the runner on, still none out. The infield, double play depth. And there is a swing and a miss as McGarry goes down. So First strikeout for Duncan.
Battled off a few good fastballs and off-speed pitches right there. A good sweeping slider by Duncan. Had the lefty-lefty matchup flailing at an outside pitch a little bit.
Yeah, it's always tough when you've got that same-handedness matchup. And Duncan had started out in centre field, but a quality pitcher in his own right. So showing some good off-speed stuff and just getting McGarry to swing through. So now going to go back to an opposite matchup in the lefty-righty and Dalton Probert.
And here's one of those teammate versus teammate appearances. Both Dalton Probert and Ryan Duncan are from East Torrens Red Sox, so they do know each other but a little bit, but probably never faced each other before.
Well, breaking rights on the line then. 0-1 count. Duncan, good fastball there.
Good fastball on the outside corner there.
Well, 0-2 count. Got the pitches to work with. The Racker brand still at first. Hasn't really taken much of an aggressive lead. Just making sure that he's not going to get picked off by the lefty in Duncan. Nice little waist pitch there. 1-2.
That was a good high fastball. Looking to miss up or looking to miss down. That time he missed up. A little higher than probably wanted. He would have wanted a little more competitive a pitch there, but he wasn't going to get beat 0-2. So good pitch there by Duncan. He'll be probably look to follow it up with that slider on the outside corner here.
So evens it up, 2-2. Doing a good job here after falling 0-2 early, just to start bringing it back into his favour. At least for the Clippers. I mean, currently past the hour mark now. So maybe just a bit of pressure on them to get something going as Probert will go down. Another strikeout for Duncan, second straight.
Good way to come back after hitting the leadoff batter. Brackenbrand come back with back-to-back strikeouts going after now the number 8 hitter, Griffin Weber, the left fielder.
Yeah, Griff Weber, one of the hitters that end up striking out. End up now being 5 strikeouts for the Clippers so far in this game. Weber did work himself into a nice 2-2 count. As he'll take that one for a ball, 1-0.
Yeah, I saw 7 pitches the first time up, fouled a few off, got himself into a good hitting opportunity, just couldn't catch up to the inside fastball last time.
So 1-0 count. And here is that pickoff attempt. And Rackerbrand, as we mentioned in that previous at-bat, not taking a huge lead at first. But Duncan keeping him honest.
Rackerbrand not really known for his speed, more of a power hitter, first baseman, DH. But the hit and run could have been in play here.
So 2-0 count, 2 out, runner on first. So as we mentioned with Rackerbrand, did get on via a hit by pitch to start off this inning, and then Duncan's just been able to strike out the past 2. And another 3-0 count now, so when we're in the driver's seat here, it looks like we're going to have a meeting out on the mound. There's Mason Clavel just coming out to come down his pitcher.
Yeah, Clavel, the catcher, knows 3-0. He knows he's got the number 8 hitter, 2 out. They don't want to turn the batting order back over to the top of the order coming up, so go in, settle him down, try to get him back in the zone, and attack a batter here.
Yeah, well, Acosta behind Weber was someone who worked to the full count and ended up striking out, but did work a tough at-bat. So I'm sure for Duncan, doesn't want to have to work with someone like that in the batter's box.
There's a good aggressive swing by Weber, 3-0. Something that you may see here in the Super League that he won't get the opportunity to do in local club ball is swing away 3-0.
Now he's got the strike, 3-1 count, still 2 out. Does swing away on this one, goes off-road, but it is going to go foul.
Oh, and looks like we got catcher's interference called here on Mason Clavel. So that means Griff Weber will get his base to first, and Rackenbrat moves down to second.
Well, he gets on base, and as we mentioned with the hit by pitch, that you don't really care how you get on as long as you get on. So Weber fouling that one off, but catcher's interference means that he gets on anyway. So now with Phil Acosta, who was a hard at bat the first time round. Again, we've seen both these teams with opportunities, runners in scoring position, runners first and second, but 2 out on the board. And so far, the Carp have just been able to edge out the Clippers so far in these opportunities. Still, Clippers well in this ball game if they can capitalise once on one of these opportunities. And ground ball towards third, and the throw is going to be in time on a bang-bang play at first. Nice throw by Sanderson to Ryan Broom, as that will retire the side. So we are heading to the top of the 5th with the Carp still leading 3-1 against the Sweet Amber Clippers. You are watching the Super League. We'll be back after the break.
Their specialised knowledge, ability to deliver and professionalism are keys to our successful relationship. A friendly and experienced team.
She got 2 little horns and they give me a little bit.
Perched on the main strip of Seaside Village Semaphore, Sweet Amber Brew Cafe is inspired by and is an ode to beer. Beer is everywhere. Empty bottles grace the shelves. The fridges are lined top to bottom with it. The 4 taps pour it, and the chef uses it in all of her recipes. Go say hi to the folks at Sweet Amber Brew Cafe next time you're in Semaphore, and grab one right behind home plate right now. So, speaking of, the Clippers defensively chasing down the Carp 3-1 here in the top of the 5th. As we'll see if they can at least maintain that 2-run deficit, as it will now be the lineup turning back over. So we'll see what they can do with the 1-2-3 duo.
And we can close the door on Tim Day as a pitcher. 2 innings, 1 hit, gave up 2 unearned runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, as we do have a Wojtek call to the bullpen here as fellow Glenelg Tiger Connor Hill takes over on the mound with a 1-1 count. A high fastball fouled straight back by replacement Ben Keeping, now in for Ryan Duncan.
So Carp, top of the lineup, been relatively productive, but now with a new dimension in Keeping. We'll see if he can keep the good times rolling for the Carp in the top half of the lineup. Currently working now with the 2-2 count.
Misses in with an inside curveball. Tried to get to the front door there. Now he's going to go back outside.
And does go outside. Doesn't quite get the zone though. 3-2. Payoff pitch here for Keeping. See what Connor Hill can do against this first hitter. There is that payoff pitch, and it is going to be popped up, just missing, as Brammer ranging out into the grass, and he'll take this one for the first out. So Keeping, looked like it was a pretty good pitch, just got below it and couldn't quite drive it out.
Yeah, 3-2 quality pitch from Connor Hill. Knew he had to attack the zone. He didn't want to get the leadoff walk. Went after the batter and got a nice high pop up on the infield for his shortstop to take.
Now Blake Farr stepping in. So far for him, he is 1 for 2. Strikeout, but the big one, double to right, driving in an RBI, getting home himself. Was really the big start to this Carp team, getting those runs on the board early. Now putting on 1 run in the first, 2 on in the third.
Blake Farr's been the offensive team so far for the Carp in the last 2 weeks. Last week he had a couple hits and a walk, drove in some runs. 3-2 loss today already. The big RBI double, got third, and like you say, scored on a sac fly.
Flared out towards left. It is going to have quite a slice to it, so it will go foul down that line, but with Griffin Weber getting some good run down there. Not a whole lot he can do with it, 0-2 count. Up behind Blake Farr, Curtis Mead, who has done some production of his own. Behind him with a single to short and then a sacrifice fly out to right. So really, when you're looking at the 2-3-4 of this lineup in Farr, Mead and Rozier, exactly where you want that run production to be. They've been the 3 most productive hitters so far. Breaking pitch there by Hill. A nice pitch, but just deciding to stray a little bit outside, evens it up.
2 good takes there by the young catcher turned left fielder this game. 1 inside on his feet. There's another fastball. Slow chopper up the middle. Second baseman up. And there's a wild throw. It goes just short of the dugout, nearly into the dugout there. Catcher backing it up. Holds Farr to first base.
Now, unfortunately for McGarry, had a couple of misplays out there, and last time that happened, the Carp, they were able to capitalize. We have another look here on the black chrome replay. Farr doing a good job getting down the line, but if that throws online, then potentially 2 out in the inning. But the Clippers will just have to regroup here and try and get the double play.
Yeah, it's more sloppy baseball here tonight. We have both teams have 3 errors on the board and more errors than hits.
Well, now Curtis Mead stepping in. And now the runner at first, and check swing appeal at first, no swing. So getting closer to the half-hour warning. This time is 9:48 local time. And just something to keep an eye out for, of course, with the Super League rules. Games only go for 2 hours, no new innings as well after a certain point, which I believe is 1:50, and then we have the speed-up rules after 1:40 if we are tied. So just keep that in mind as you watch this ball game, that while the Clippers definitely have some incentive to get this game going a little bit quicker, the Carp, they just want to be taking pitches and they want to try and extend this one out as long as they can.
Yeah, he'll just miss just outside. He was asking the umpire if it was out there. The umpire agreed with him. There's one way outside for ball 4.
Well, there we go, 2 base runners on now. So Farr will move up to second, Mead will end up at first. And for Angus Rozier, who did have a single to right in his first at bat, he is someone who can drive in some RBIs for this Carp team.
We haven't seen Angus go off yet, as we'll say. He's gotten a couple little singles over the past weeks, but he hasn't gotten the power stroke going yet. I'm sure he's just getting himself ready to get it all going for the bite when the season starts there.
I'd say there are a few players that have been known for their power, but they just have not quite been able to show off that skill set yet here in the Super League. But I'm sure as the season goes on, there will be more and more that they can work with and get a little bit more confident, a little bit more swagger behind them. They're currently working with that 0-1 count with runners at first and second. Carp in a good opportunity. And 0-1, hit out towards short. Brammer not having to move a whole lot, so he will take that one for the out. Rozier will keep his bat as he walks to the dugout. Now with only 2 out in the inning, now brings up Wilson at lead.
Yeah, Angus Roger got fisted a little bit there, popped it up on the infield for the infield fly, which is not, which for the hitter is an automatic out. Runners don't have to advance even if the ball is dropped.
Now Wilson Lee, who so far 0 for 1, strikeout and a walk. So again, an opportunity for the Carp with runners in scoring position. Could potentially go begging here if they can't get something. Lee going to hit this one. It's going to be tough for McGarry. One runner is going to come circling around third. The throw's going to be offline, so one run will score for the Carp, make that 4-1. Finally, base runner will end up at third in Curtis Mead. So the Carp get another run on the board, make it 4-1 here in the top of the fifth. And Lee didn't have to hit it very hard, but just hit it where they ain't.
Yeah, great job by Wilson Lee. Got just enough of it. Hit a ball into center field for a single, get himself an RBI, and then we'll see another error on the board for the Clippers as a terrible throw, quite honestly, by the second baseman Holmes, which allowed Wilson Lee to go to second base.
Yeah, so Blake Farr will score. He'll get high fives from his teammates, and now for the Clippers it really is, they do not want to let this game get out of hand. 3 runs is still achievable here in this, but ultimately 7-inning game or the 2-hour mark, the way we're going right now, probably going to hit that 2-hour mark prior to the 7 innings, but they really need to get a wriggle on and try and get something going quickly.
Yeah, it looks like we have a defensive replacement here for the Wheat Amber Ale Clippers. Andrew Chapman's going to be taking over at first base, and this is going to be for Terrell Joyce to go down into the bullpen and get loose. So he will be the next pitcher to come into the game once he's ready to go here.
So now Jay Sanderson is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Important couple of pitches for Connor Hill here with 2 out. Doesn't really have to focus too much on the base runners, but they are an ever-present threat. Sanderson hits this one towards right. It's going to have enough distance. It's going to be over the head of Ridding. 1 run will score. It's going to be 2. And Sanderson's going to end up at second. So 2 RBI double for him as he's aggressive early in the count. And he extends it out to 6-1 here in the top of the 5th. And the Carp making good on their opportunities and extending that lead.
Taking advantage of the defense. We got more unearned runs this inning. The Clippers haven't taken care of the ball, but right there, that was a line drive shot into the gap for Sanderson, and Ridding didn't really have much of a chance to track that one over his head.
Yeah, it was going to be tough, especially with the amount of velocity that he got on that hit. So you kind of just have to tip your cap on something like that and continue to push this game. But again, 5 runs down now here in the top of the 5th. Just makes the Clippers' job that little bit harder.
Sanderson with a big hit there for his Carp. 4-1 is a chance to come back from. That big hit makes it 6-1, extend that lead, give his pitchers a little more breathing room, and allow them to go right at batters.
Well, for Mason Clavel, currently 1 for 2. Strikeout and a single in his 2 at-bats, so an opportunity here to potentially add an RBI to his tally. We're going to flare this one. It's going to get past second base into right field. The runner is going to be held up at third as, in that case, Sanderson being aggressive. In the meantime, some aggressive base running by Clavel as he ends up at second, catches the Clippers out, and he will end up going and pretty much handing in his gear, saying, "Thank you very much, I'll take the extra base."
Yeah, some great base running by the catcher, by the young catcher there. Got his single. The outfielder came up throwing for a chance of getting the out at the plate. Runner was held, and the ball couldn't be cut off, and he took at the extra base. As you saw there, Nick Afara running out to second base, take over for Clavel. He's going to be just coming out just for the speed up rules of the catcher getting the opportunity to get his equipment on.
Now Ryan Broom, who's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, but the way the Carp is swinging the bat, maybe he could add something here. And aggressive swing there, just making contact, but not quite enough. 0-1 count.
Good fastball by Hill and good healthy cut there by Ryan Broom.
Well, they're favouring that right side. It's going to be a tough one out there for Reading, but he does make the catch for the third out. So the Carp just keep adding on as it is a 6-1 ball game as we head to the bottom of the fifth. And really, it's do or die time for the Clippers right now. They need to get some confidence going. Some fielding misplays have definitely hurt them, but now 5 runs down as we are almost at the half-hour warning of this ball game before its conclusion. They need to get something going.
We have the top of the order coming up here, and they need something. Like you said, they need to get something going. This is the part of the order that should be producing for them. And tonight they are running out of time, whether it's the time clock of having 30, 35 minutes left in this game, or the fact that we're in the 5th inning and they only have 3 at-bats, 9 outs left.
As you mentioned, no new innings after an hour 50, and we're almost at the half-hour mark, so 9:56 at the moment. That's just going off our clock. Of course, umpires might be a little bit of a discrepancy there, so just keep that in mind. But just gives you a general outline of how this game has gone so far. The Carp able to get a run on in the first. They put 2 on in the third, and then 3 on in the fifth for the Clippers. They only scored the 1 run in the third, and since then they have been held to nothing. So they've managed the 1 hit, the 1 run. For the Carp, they've managed the 6 runs off 5 hits with 2 errors. So just a little bit cleaner baseball from them that has led them to getting this lead.
Yeah, it looks like we had a Wojtek call to the bullpen here for the Carp. Young righty, the rookie player for the Carp team, Todd Marshall, going to be taking over. That pitcher out of the Northern District's organization. 1-0 on the season. Beat Golden Grove in the first week of the year. He's a pitcher that a lot of these players may not have seen a lot of. He's a quality pitcher. 2 years ago, we went 5-1 in a collegiate league that traveled around Europe. 31 innings, 22 hits only, 25 strikeouts, and helped the La Rochelle Admirals to their back-to-back championship seasons.
Well, it's just a little bit easier here, preserving a 5-run lead for the Carp at the moment, but he is facing the top of this lineup, which is Brammer, Reading, and what will be now Terrell Joyce. So that's been the most productive members of this lineup, so going to be important. Brammer being aggressive first up. It's going to be flared out, or a bit of a Bermuda triangle, but it is going to be taken out by Mead, who ran all the way out to left field for the first out. So pretty much 90% of the time that ball pretty much drops at this ballpark, but fortunate there that they're all able to stay out of each other's way and get the out.
Yeah, the ball had a lot of air under it. Brammer hit it a long way up. It allowed the shortstop to travel out there. Third baseman, or left fielder, excuse me, was able to kind of be there for support, but Connor Mead was able to settle under it.
Now, Dylan Reading stepping in as he takes it in for a strike. 0-1 count. So for him, 1 for 2 with a single, drove in an RBI. Nice little breaking pitch there by Todd Marshall. You can really see that the confidence for the Carp right now definitely high. The Clippers just need to get something, and with Reading swinging through that one, going to have to now work with the 2-strike approach.
Yeah, Marshall possesses a fastball, slider, and a changeup. Working a little more on that changeup to harness it. He's got a good fastball slider, which seems to take off and get away from hitters' bats.
1-2, liner towards Mead. It's going to be a tough one, take him away. Glove side, throw to Broom is going to be in time though, so strong defensive play by Curtis Mead, and some good wheels down the line, and Dylan Reading not quite fast enough, so 2 out bases clear for the Clippers.
Yeah, Clippers are slowly running out of outs here. We've got 2 outs in the 5th inning, down 6-1. They can start putting a few together if they want to mount some sort of a comeback here.
Well, Terrell Joyce, someone who was able to reach on base last time, fielder's choice. Got to think right now, Terrell Joyce was able to get on base. Other than that, Rackebrand got on by the hit by pitch, and Griffin Weber with the catcher's interference. Other than that, no one else has been able to get on base. So this is the part of the lineup that the Carp are definitely worried about, but they're 2/3 of the way through. A 1-2 count. And swing, and There we go, correction. It was a 1-1 count, so 1-2 count now. So potentially for Marshall, 1 strike away from getting through the top. The bottom half of the 5th, heading to the top of the 6th. That one just a little bit high.
Just about a little bit high there. Definitely wanted to miss up, probably not quite that high. But now we'll probably look for that slider away here.
Well, even count, base is clear. Oh, and there is a swing and a miss as Joyce goes down. First strikeout of the night for him.
There's that changeup that he's been working on. Fooled me, went with the changeup inside and was able to strike out the one of the prolific power hitters of the SABL.
Well, we're heading to the top of the 6th. Carp, 6-1 at the moment. Can they extend this lead out? We'll find out. You're watching Super League. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back to Bennett Field. Carp versus the Clippers. Wojtek pitching change with Terrell Joyce now coming into pitch, closing this one out likely for the Clippers, as it will be Nick George stepping in, is just going to casually show a bit of a bunt there, but pull it back. 1-0 count.
Looks like the Clippers are going to their closer here. Terrell Joyce trying to keep it exactly where it is as they're down by a few. They need to keep it right where it is. A fastball inside misses. 2-0 to the number 9 hitter.
Yeah, so George, it will then be Ben Keeping and Blake Farr. 9-1-2. They're really favouring that right side. This one's going to go over the head of Ridding, so George is going to get extra bases. He's hustling towards second as it goes towards the wall. He's going to get in standing up, and he's got a double to get the Carp started off here in the top of the 6th.
Yeah, Joyce fell behind 2-0. Had to throw a fastball, trying to get right back in. And the young second baseman was able to drive it over the right fielder's head for a stand-up double.
Yeah, we'll get another look at the run around the bases thanks to Black Chrome.
He was smelling a triple out of the box.
He thought about it.
But Ridding got the ball in fairly quick.
Well, I'm sure we'll definitely see some hot feet at second base, as now will be Ben Keeping stepping in, who popped out to shortstop last time around. Does have an opportunity with the runner at second, none out. And that one definitely has some slice to it and some velocity, but well foul.
Everybody look out in the car park out there. That ball went out there, and someone may have a nice little souvenir for themselves in the car.
Yeah, that had windshield written all over it. A 1-1. And that one's going to be close, but he's going to go foul.
Just foul down the line. Home plate umpire Ian Revel has the call on that.
Well, important here for the Clippers, as we mentioned, the top half of this inning. They want to keep it a 5-run game. It's going to be up high. Evens it up at a 2-2 count, but currently 10:06 at the moment. Game would hit the 2-hour mark at 10:30 local time. I don't think we'll have to deal with the international speed-up rules, to be perfectly honest, but the no new innings after an hour 50 going to be important.
It was a good fastball there by Joyce. Blew it right by the young outfielder Ben Keeping for the first out of the inning. Now we got the Carp offensive player, Blake Farr. The last couple of weeks he's been the one leading the way, and got RBI opportunity again here.
There we go. There is the clock on your screen. 10.5 minutes. Of course, at the end of every game, we do have the highway player of the game, so they do get a voucher to the highway. So I'm sure Blake Farr's probably thinking about that at this point, definitely keeping himself in strong contention for that award.
Yeah, most of the damage tonight has been done by the top of the order and getting on base and taking advantage of the errors that the Clippers have handed to them.
So 2-0 count here for Farr. Going to be aggressive and swing through that one, 2-1.
A little more aggressive lead by Nick George at second base, and Blake Farr swung through an outside fastball. But if he made a connection with that one, that had left center gap written all over it as center fielder Phil Acosta swung way around into right field.
And again with the Clippers, just trying to keep base runners honest, and George did have some pace as we saw with that double, so just got to keep him honest at second. At least for right now, Terrell Joyce now working with a 3-1 count, so does have to be careful as he's heading towards the middle of this lineup. Farr, as you mentioned, one of the more productive hitters so far in tonight's game.
Joyce having a little trouble finding his release point, missing up with everything. He's going to try to make the adjustment come down.
Well, there's the ground ball. Brammer going to pick this one up, casually throw over for the out, and in this case, George will move up to third, so base runner does advance, but now 2 out in the inning, as it will now go to Curtis Mead.
He had a very productive night tonight. RBI single and stolen base in the first, sac fly in the third, and then a walk and scored a run in the fifth. With some few nice defensive plays. Curtis Mead is he's another one trying to make contention for that highway player of the game here.
Well, there are a few players that you definitely put down at least offensively for the Carp and what they've been able to do. Well, he's potentially another one here in that power alley center right, and he's just going to be taking extra bases as this one's going to go all the way, and it looks like it's got stuck in the fence. So in that case, 1 run will score, so Nick George will get home and he'll get high fives from his team. Curtis Mead going to have to stop at second, so he'll get the double at the very least, but he definitely wanted more than that.
Yeah, ground rule double by Curtis Mead. First pitch, fastball, outside corner. He was able to go with it, take it into right center gap, and it one hops over the fence.
Well, he'll get an RBI, which will be his first of the night. So Curtis Mead making a strong case yet again.
Yeah, extends the lead up to 7-1, and they're starting to run away with it on the Clippers.
Yeah, so now Angus Rozier stepping in, who has been productive in the 4-hole, not necessarily with stats-wise, but has hit a couple of pop flyers, which have just been able to advance runners and do all the little things that don't necessarily show up on the scorecard. So,
look out! Look out on the bench there.
That's why you got to pay attention at the dugout. But for Rozier so far, currently 1 for 3. Behind him, Wilson Lee, who's been able to get on base twice. Behind him, Sanderson, who had the big double which drove in an RBI. Mason Clavel, who's 2 for 3. So a couple of players which would be in consideration, but say at this point, you're probably looking at between offensively, Blake Farr and Curtis Mead, and what they've been able to do in the 2 and 3 hole respectively.
And so far, Curtis Mead, he looks like he's been a leader for the Carp tonight. Offensive, defensively, he's held their position, went out, made a couple nice plays in the outfield as a shortstop, and got the job done. Used his feet and his bat.
Well, hard hit ball by Rozier. Outfield was playing a little bit more to the right, so it just means Mead's going to get home pretty comfortably. Rozier's going to slide in at second. Close play, he's going to get in safe.
Yeah, hustle double there by Angus Rozier. Hit the ball hard into left field. A little bit of a hanging slider there. Mr. Eljoy still continues to try to find that release point on that slider.
Well, we get another look at it here. It was a closer play than you probably thought, but nice job by Rozier just to hustle down towards second base, and now they do add another run. So now looking at 8-1 scoreline at the moment here in the top of the 6th.
As you can see on the screen there, the 5:23, 5:22, that clock ticking down. They're gonna need a big inning in the bottom of the 6th to get that time clock.
They're gonna need a historic inning, at least here for Super League purposes. At least according to our Wojtek clock, now at the 5-minute mark. So we should also mention with that clock, it's not definitive. So just used as a reference, so potential there could be some discrepancies, but just keep that in mind that we're looking at roughly 5 minutes remaining. So really, with the Carp being the road team, Clippers, one more opportunity for them to try and tie this game or win. Of course, ties are possible in Super League as well. Hard hit ball, it's going to get past the pitcher, past second base, into center field. Rozier's going to round third. He's going to get home pretty comfortably as well, as they just keep rolling the Carp. Wilson Lee with an RBI, and now make it 9-1 in favor of the Carp.
This is an inning the Carp that have exploded for base hits. The first few innings, they scored their run on some sloppy defense by the Clippers. This inning, they've got themselves 3 runs on 5 hits, and the 2 outs here, they're still hit. Jace Anderson had a big 2 RBI double last inning, kind of opened it up from 4-1 to 6-1, and at this point, looks like it might have been sealed their fate.
First pitch to Sanderson will be a strike, and as you mentioned with that double, really just started putting this game away for the Carp. The Clippers have just been able to keep themselves in the conversation over the past couple of innings, but really they just have not been able to consistently get base runners on to get hits. They've only still got the 1 hit to 4 errors. You don't need to be a mathematician to find out where they've gone wrong. 0-2 count.
Another little front door slider there. Tried to catch it, got a little too far inside.
So 9-1 the scoreline. A swing and a miss by Sanderson as he will go down. So the Carp just add more runs on the board. It's going to be up to the Clippers to at least get, let's see, 8 runs to tie, 9 to win in what would be a historic Super League inning, but it's going to be easier said than done for them to be able to do that, because they've only mustered the 1 hit so far, the 1 run, and you can see 2 minutes 25 at least according to our clock here. So yeah, going to be tough for them.
Yeah, it's going to be a historic comeback if they're able to do it, like you mentioned. But right now they're going to have to try to do it each at a time, one little bit, not try to do too much. It looks like we are going to have another Wojtek call to the pen. Todd Marshall had 1 clean inning, got out in about 9-10 pitches, and now they're going to go to Wilson Lee from right field to take over on the mound.
Well, we mentioned with Wilson Lee, someone who is very used to the outfield duties, which he's had predominantly, at least for the bite season, was a pitcher. So definitely two comfort zones for him, and they'll come in with a not necessarily an easier zone, but definitely not as much pressure as if it was a 3-1 game as it was a couple of innings ago.
No, he's got the nice little bit of a cushion to work with. 8 runs, gets a chance to go right at hitters, attack them, try to get them. They're going to have to earn their way to, they're not going to probably get any free passes here. With that change, we do have the subsequent change with looks like Nick Carfora taking over in right field for Wilson Lee.
So for the Clippers, it'll be Carter, Rackebrant, and McGarry, barring any substitutions. So really, this is the point that they need to get something going. You're looking at the one player who has managed to get a hit for the Clippers so far in this game, Dylan Ridding, who is currently 1 for 3. So other than that, they've had a couple of walks, hit by pitch, a catcher's interference, but they have not quite been able to get consistent hits on the board, and that's really been their kryptonite so far tonight.
Yeah, the pitching staff of the Carp have done their job. They've held this Clippers hitting team, which is a very good hitting lineup, to 1 hit over the day. You said a couple walks, a hit by pitch, but the base runners have almost been non-existent, and 1 hit just isn't going to win you a lot of baseball games in the Super League.
If you hit it hard enough, it might cut into that deficit, but you'll need a few of them. So Carter will have to be aggressive here and try to get something going. Of course, pitch clock, at least according to us, is now ended. So this is it for the Clippers. They need to string something together. And that one is going to be in for a strike. He evens it up, 1-1 count. Wilson Lee facing the middle of this lineup, going through the rest of it with Rackebrant. He's got a strikeout and a hit by pitch, and then behind him McGarry did reach on an error and also a strikeout. So as you mentioned, Reading only one with a base hit so far. Other than that, it's been a struggle for the Clippers as Carter's going to swing through that one. I mean, sometimes it's just not your night, and in this case it seems like for the Clippers, barring a pretty historic comeback, at least in relation to the very young Super League. Right now, they have not shown a whole lot offensively. Yeah, popped up, potentially playable for the catch here. And that will be taken quite comfortably, almost on home plate, as that'll be the first out. Carter, catcher to catcher.
Yeah, good fastball there by Wilson Lee. Got a pop-up. Missed the bell, got himself spun around, got his back to center field, like catcher's supposed to, and Wilson Lee directed traffic like a pitcher's supposed to for an easy first out of the inning.
So now Luke Rackebrant did get on with a hit by pitch, so have to hope that he can do something similar here at the very least. Probably wouldn't like it in the same spot though. So 1-0 count.
No, but Rackebrant's looking to get on base with a hit this time. Last time he took the walk when it was 3-1, hit by pitch. Looking for base runners. This time he's looking for a little more production out of his bat.
He took one for the team, but you can't keep doing that. You've got to eventually swing the bat, and as we mentioned at the start of the broadcast, Rackebrant definitely has a solid bat to work with, but just this Clippers lineup's been kept in check so far.
Lee misses high with fastball, falls behind 3-0. Down 8, 3-0 pitch. Rackebrant's probably going to have the green light here, be swinging if it's something that he can handle.
Let's see, fastball right down the pipe, and he's going to lay off this one. So 3-1 count at the moment. Bases still clear, 1 out. He's got a second opportunity here. Fastball's going to be up high though. Rackebrant works the walk. So they'll extend it for at least one more batter, as Sam McGarry will be the one who is stepping up. And unfortunately for him defensively, probably hasn't had the night that he would like, but has been a solid contributor otherwise for this Clippers team.
Yeah, made up of the night he wanted defensively, but the Clippers in general could say that they've been around the field. There's been mistakes made by a number of the players out there. Henley gets ahead. Fastball in the outside corner, 0-1.
Rackebrant at first and taking a very casual lead, and as we mentioned last time, he was on after the hit by pitch, not exactly a stolen base threat, but against a lefty and Wilson Lee, you've just got to be careful with that sneaky move towards first. Not that I think the Carp are necessarily worried about it either. Well, bouncing ball towards short. It's going to take Mead in. They're just going to go for the runner at first, and they do get it. So second out here for the Clippers, and good job by Mead just not to force anything, take the sure out, move the chains.
Yeah, he had no interest in the out at second base. He knew it was hit too slowly. A nice little play from him. Get the out at first base, get the second out, where they're 1 out away from a victory this evening.
Well, Dalton Probert. That is going to be high. Well, there we go. So, new hitter in for the Clippers. Currently a 2-0 count.
Yeah, this is the player. I believe he's of Swiss descent. Played with the Diving Ducks in the Austrian Baseball League this past year. He's out here with the Henley and Grange Rams and part of their player exchange program that they've done over the years. Alessandro's a catcher, pitcher, and outfielder. Hit .221 in the Austrian Baseball League in 104 at-bats. 4 doubles, a triple, 18 RBIs.
Well, Zufel will just take the pitches, say thank you very much, and work the walks. So at least for the Clippers, they get some base runners on, and potentially some runs could be coming home if they can get a couple more of those, but they need plenty more 8 runs down.
Yeah, the Clippers took an opportunity there to give a young player new to Adelaide an at-bat, and he earned himself a 4-pitch walk.
So again, we're just seeing a bit of a rotation with these Clippers hitters.
Here we got another young player, Declan Steele from the Henley and Grange Rams. He's one of the young players who can take advantage of the Super League. He didn't have any Division I stats last year. There's a fastball right down the middle from Wilson Lee, even the count at 1-1. Didn't have any Division I stats last year in the SABL. Played in a couple of lower grades, but he is a young player. Had a little bit of opportunity in North America.
So
with a senior college.
Zufel at first, and with that, Steele will foul that off to the left-hand side. I mean, this is the opportunity for these players now, especially if it's not going to be a close game, at least at this point, with 2 out and a 9-1 scoreline. Give these guys a little bit of experience in that bat here and there, definitely helps them in their development.
A lot of the bench players in the Super League are the young guys that are using this as a chance to learn from some of the older players. Just listen to them on the bench and learn what it's like to be a baseball player at a higher level. With the foul ball off his inside foot.
So Carp at this point, barring a very, very unlikely turnaround, will go to 1-2 on the season for the Clippers, falling to 0-3. But maybe they can just cut into this deficit at least one more time. Lee, 1-2. 2 runners on, 2 out. Bouncing ball, nicely blocked by the catcher, Clavel, just to keep it in front.
Yeah, great job there by Clavel to keep that 56-foot curveball in front of him from any of the batters from advancing.
So 2-2. Hit out towards center. It's going to be line. Going to be a tough one in center. No, it is going to get picked up, I believe. Not quite. So 2 runs will score. No, Rackabrant will score. 1 run will score for the Clippers. And all that confusion, wasn't quite sure if it was going to be taken out there by keeping. Ended up falling out of the glove. So the Clippers put a run on the board, make it 9-2. So we get another look here.
Nice little RBI double by the young player from the Rams. It looked like Ben Keeping had a little problem seeing it off the bat. Late reaction, jump to it. But good hustle getting down to second base to get himself an RBI double.
So now Phil Acosta stepping in, scoreline 9-2.
Base hit here, things may be getting a little bit interesting.
Just a little bit. As we said, we've seen stranger things in baseball. The odds are stacked against them, but if they can get back towards the top of this lineup, anything could happen. So if Acosta can get a good at-bat here, and he is 2 strikes down, he can work something back, maybe, just maybe.
And Clippers want to turn it back over to that top. That's where their power is. That's where their top hitters are.
And called strike 3 to end it. Wilson Lee closes the door as the Clippers, they do get another run on the board, but final score 9-2 as the Carp will take their first victory of the year. Clippers still searching, but a good game, at least early on. Then the Carp really started to pull away, and those errors just really cost the Clippers.
Yeah, tonight the difference was the pitching from the Carp and the defense from the Clippers. You put them together, the Carp pitchers held the Clippers to 2 hits, one of them here in the last inning. But the defense really cost the Clippers tonight. 4 errors on the board, some of them costly, a lot of unearned runs. Gave the Carp extra base runners, extra at-bats, and put their pitchers behind.
Well, looking towards next week, round 4, Crushers versus the Carp will be at 6 p.m. and Clippers versus the Wasps will be the late game at 8:30. So plenty to look forward to as we are heading towards the middle part of this Super League season. But now things are starting to develop. Every team's at least seen each other. They can make adjustments from here, so it's only going to get better. If you get the chance, do come down here. Special thanks to all of our sponsors. Special thanks to Rob for sitting through 2 games as he does each and every week. Thank you very much, Rob, for your time and for your expert analysis.
Oh, I definitely love being out here on Wednesdays for the 2 games. And like you said, these teams are starting to get to know each other, and they're going to start putting things together. We've got rematches from week 1 next week, so there's going to be some exciting baseball, and it's just getting better and better as the season goes on.
Well, my name is Fraser Fife. I hope you've enjoyed the broadcast. We will be back next week. Until then, you'll be watching the Super League. We'll catch you back at Benefield.